So, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is the fourth installment of the Harry Potter film franchise, this one being adapted from, as y'all can imagine, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, but this film was directed by Mike Newell. In Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, we once again follow our golden trio, Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione Granger, as they return to Hogwarts for the fourth consecutive year, and there is quite a bit happening this time around. Not only are the Death Eaters, aka Voldemort's followers, causing quite a stir in the Wizarding world, starting with their attack during the Quidditch World Cup. The characters are getting more mature, in a sense, well, feelings, hormones are coming into play as well. That's just another thing. Another thing, and possibly, no, actually, the biggest thing happening in this movie is that Hogwarts is hosting this big challenge, aka the Triwizard Tournament, where 3 schools, including Hogwarts, the Beauxbatons and the Durmstrangs, come to Hogwarts to participate in this big, huge challenge where 3 students from each respective school is selected to participate in this Triwizard Tournament where eternal glory awaits, but it is not for the faint of heart. Worst of all, a certain dark wizard might be coming back, aka he who must not be named, and the biggest thing of all of it, Harry Potter is selected and he must compete in the Triwizard Tournament. Before I continue with my review, welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future video, whether it's a future review, a future reaction, or a future one of these reviews. Be sure to hit that subscribe button because, believe me guys, when I say this, I have a lot of cool shit coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond. And for those of you who are coming back to my channel, welcome back, and I am so freaking happy to see your faces once again. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Excellent!
Man. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I must do a story time with you guys because when this movie was coming out, or around the time this movie was coming out, you guys have no idea how excited I was when this movie was coming out. I was following the marketing and the behind the scenes of this movie like absolutely crazy. Like, I was obsessed with how this movie was marketed. There was no way to watch a trailer unless if you went onto the Harry Potter website, and they were teasing that the teaser trailer was going to come out for this movie on a certain day. I can't remember when that day was, but man, I was refreshing that page constantly. When I was living the time, I didn't have the greatest internet. I was waiting, I was refreshing the Harry Potter page, and then finally, the teaser came on, and I will never forget the goosebumps I got seeing the actors age before you see in their current age at the time being. And it did show a couple seconds of footage of each part. Specifically, it did show the shot of Harry before, after he has the ghillie, he does that flip in the Black Lake. And not to mention it as well, I remember specifically from that teaser when Harry was trying to get the dragon and Hermione screams, "Harry!" And you saw the dragon coming after Harry and you saw the Goblet of Fire logo. I was just going like, holy crap! To say that I was hyped for this movie was an absolute understatement, and I'll never forget the first time I saw this movie. It was me, my brother, a friend of mine at the time, and my mom. We all went to the theater. We were so excited, and oh my god, I came out of this movie so exhilarated, like you guys have no idea. I had so much excitement when I was rewatching Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and man, I gotta tell you all, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is a badass fourth film of the Harry Potter film franchise. There's no other way to describe it. It's super exciting, but it's just an awesome fourth movie in the Harry Potter film franchise. Now, I will say this, is it better than The Prisoner of Azkaban? Personally, for me, it is not, but Goblet of Fire is a badass movie in the franchise. Once again, guys, when it comes down to the performances, every performance is incredible. As the actors have aged these movies and as the movies have gone on, the movies and the books, they get darker, and I really have to compliment and how the actors are dealing with the maturity and the complexity of the stories as they're going on. Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, and not to mention very much everybody else does such a great job of embracing getting into the darker side of the story this time around. Michael Gambon still kicks ass as Dumbledore, not to mention as well, Alan Rickman is still great as Severus Snape. Oh my god, I almost forgot to mention one more particular person, and I'd be shooting myself if I didn't mention, Robert fucking Pattinson as Cedric Diggory. Now, sure, yes, Robert Pattinson doesn't have the most screen time, but if there's something that I like about not only his performance, which Robert Pattinson is great as Cedric Diggory, I also have the fact that the two of them do have like a semi-team up in this movie and a way of trying to help each other figure out what the challenges are, how to solve solving the riddles and the puzzles together and helping them out trying to get through the tournament together, even though that sector does meet his untimely end. But man, Brendan Gleeson as Mad-Eye Moody. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Even though this character is taking apologies mostly because it's really David Tennant that's posing as him, but still nonetheless. Brendan Gleeson as Mad-Eye Moody. I absolutely loved him in this movie, and I absolutely loved that, like I said to you guys earlier, this is a movie where they're taking things into a darker side, making this world feel not only mature and darker, but more grounded and real than the first Harry Potter films did. One of my favorite scenes of this movie is when Mad-Eye Moody is teaching the three unforgivable curses, Imperio, Crucio, and Avada Kedavra. It's just the eerie feeling that you get as you're watching the sequence, when there is some really good comedy in there as well, but there's one scene in particular where Mad-Eye Moody and Draco Malfoy are going at it, and Mad-Eye Moody turns Malfoy into a ferret.
I teach you to curse someone when their back is turned. You stinking, cowardly, scummy,
Professor
back-shooting,
what are you doing?
teaching.
Is that a student?
Technically, it's a ferret.
I fucking love this scene. I was laughing hysterically during this sequence. While Remus Lupin might be my favorite Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, Mad-Eye Moody is awesome, and I absolutely love him in this movie. And also, oh my god, one other person I must talk about is Neville Longbottom. I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. I put his name right here. But Neville Longbottom, I absolutely loved him in this movie. I mean, Neville Longbottom had such great character growth in this movie, and I cannot praise not only how he helps Harry in this movie. During the Yule Ball, he gets a date, and he stays there even after everyone's gone home. Neville, you are a badass. Enough said. Christopher Columbus did the first two installments, Alfonso Cuarón did the third one, and Mike Newell did this installment. If there's something in particular that I loved how he directed this movie, Mike Newell described that this movie as essentially like a paranoid thriller, and my god, it shows. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is so damn exciting that even though this movie is almost 2 hours and 40 minutes, there is not a single moment where it slows down, because here's the thing, guys, this movie is like a ticking time bomb, especially once again to the final Triwizard challenge, to which I'll get into all the challenges in a little bit. Something else that I noticed as I was rewatching the film is that this movie is really, really funny. I found myself laughing a whole lot more, in particular with a scene which all of us guys can relate to this. The Yule Ball sequence, or before the Yule Ball sequence, where Harry is trying to find a date, and he is just like a deer in headlights, and Ron says to him, Harry, you dealt with a dragon, this should be no problem for you. And Harry says, Ron, I would much deal with a dragon right now. There are some guys out there that definitely have the confidence to just go right up to a woman, but believe me guys when I say this, when it comes down to a dance, like a school dance, we would rather do anything else than approach a girl and the chances of getting rejected. Especially in a scene when Ron Weasley comes back, he looks like he's been traumatized because he tried to ask out Fleur. Something else that I must talk about is the musical score of this movie. Now, as you guys are fully well aware, John Williams did the music for the first 3 films, but he did not return to do Goblet of Fire, and instead, Patrick Doyle did the score of this movie. And here's the thing, Patrick Doyle had some big shoes to fill in, because man, you are following against John Williams. I thought that Patrick Doyle brought a pretty badass score, in particular, the score for the Durmstrangs. Wow, it's a pretty nice score that just gets your blood pumping. In particular, his score when Hermione comes down the stairs with that dress, I teared up. I was like, so beautiful. I'm getting emotional. I'm so sorry, guys. It was a very beautiful moment, man. I love that whole thing. I just realized that, guys, as I go on to the next bit of my review, I have to mention this right now. There will be spoilers, so in case you haven't seen Goblet of Fire, just know that I'm going to be talking about some spoilers, in particular with the Triwizard Tournament and some of the big things that are about to happen. So, spoiler alert, here we go. The Triwizard Tournament is so damn exciting. The best way that I can describe each challenge is by comparing each challenge to a boss in Bloodborne. Bear with me here, guys, really quick. The first challenge against the dragon is like fighting the cleric beast. The thing is probably scary, it's intimidating, and it's a challenge, but as long as you know your strategy, you can take the thing down almost pretty easily. The second challenge in the Black Lake with the mer people trying to rescue your friend is like fighting Father Gascoigne. It's a bitch to fight, but as long as you're prepared, you just might get out with an inch of your life. The third challenge involving the maze, followed by Voldemort, is like fighting the Orphan of Kos. Good luck. Enough said. I still have not been the Orphan of Kos because that thing is a pain in my ass. That thing could seriously go screw itself. Going away from the tournament, there is one thing that I absolutely love about Goblet of Fire, and that are two relationships that I think are the beating soul and the hearts of this movie. The first one being of the relationship between Harry Potter and Mad-Eye Moody. I absolutely love them together, and I love how Mad-Eye Moody, even though it's Barty Crouch Jr., but still nonetheless, I love their relationship so damn much, and how Mad-Eye Moody is doing everything he can to help out Harry Potter. The best relationship in this movie is the friendship with Harry and Hermione. I absolutely love their friendship in this movie, even after Ron decides to be an absolute dick. There is a moment in this movie, particularly in the first challenge, when Harry looks like he's been knocked out from that dragon, and when Harry comes right back, and Hermione just has the biggest exhilaration when she sees Harry coming back. Love how close they are and how they're essentially siblings. Before I continue on to the rest of this review, I must mention one scene that's a massive spoiler, and that is when Harry and Cedric Diggory go to the graveyard because the Triwizard Cup is a portkey, and when we see Voldemort rise, Ralph Fiennes' Voldemort is, to say the least, pitch perfect casting. Ralph Fiennes is not only terrifying, he's menacing, but my god, what screen presence does he bring as Lord Voldemort? When I first started doing these reviews, I had mentioned that when the movies all were coming out, I decided to reread the books as they were coming out. I reread that book 3 times before the movie came out. In particular, there is a scene in the book when the duel comes about, and I was just seeing the description of what was going on when Harry and Voldemort's wands were colliding. I think it was Prior Incantatem, I think the whole spell was. When that moment came on, when I first saw this in the theater, I was really thinking, oh my god, they fucking nailed that scene. This is just like in the book! Harry gets Cedric's body and the cup, he goes back, and by the way, this scene, when Harry gets back to Hogwarts with Cedric's body, this scene, holy crap. Just thinking about it, just making me emotional right now. Seeing Cedric's father and seeing Harry just sobbing. What a scene. It's such a great scene. The whole third act of Goblet of Fire is brilliant. How this movie ends made me very excited to see where we go next. You guys can imagine that.
Well, that's just fucking great!
Do I find this to be better than Prisoner of Azkaban, and do I find this movie has flaws? I do, yes. The first flaw is this. Ron. Rupert Grint is great as Ron, but Ron is such an asshole in this movie. I mean, my god. There were so many bits where I was thinking like, Ron, you know what? Piss off, man. Especially during the Yule Ball scene where Ron ruins Hermione's night, especially during that one dialogue exchange where Hermione sits next down to Harry and she says, hey, wanna join us for drinks? And you can tell, by the way, if you look closely, Harry's about to say, yeah, let's do it. And then Ron says, no. The hell, Ron? I know that Ron has jealousy knowing that he didn't get to take Hermione to the dance, but dude, come on, do you have to go that far and ruin her? God, really, dude? Especially to Harry when Harry didn't want to be in the freaking tournament, especially when Ron just had to be so petty about the entire thing. But thankfully he did have that realization in which I thought, oh gee, you think you're being a little mad, Ron? There are sequences in this movie where I feel like they just abruptly end. The opening act of this movie where they go to the Quidditch World Cup. I would have loved to watch the Quidditch World Cup, even if it was only like 5 to 10 minutes. Now, I completely understand this movie is almost already 2 hours and 40 minutes. Now, there are other bits where it does that, in which it's more of a nitpick, but I really wish they would have shown the Quidditch World Cup, because that would have been really, really exciting. David Tennant. I love him as an actor, and he's great in this movie. But what the fuck was that tongue thing he was doing? Seriously, he just kept on going like, knock it off, man. Just knock it off.
And here we go.
So overall, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is an exciting part of the franchise. It's exhilarating, and it's just a badass time. All in all, I'm gonna give Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire a 4 out of 5. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is such an exciting part of the film franchise, and where it's up to continue on from here is really quite exciting. I hope you enjoyed my review of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. If so, please hit the like button, or if you dislike the review, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see my previous 2 reviews, please click it right there or right there. And of course, until my next review video goes live, I'll see you all next time.